Do you like sex and drugs? Or maybe having sex while on drugs, or doing drugs after sex, or any type of variation of drugs and sex? Because if you do, you're probably gonna like this album. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is my review for the Weeknd's new album, Beauty Behind the Madness. Now, I'm personally not the biggest Weeknd fan, but a lot of you guys were asking me to review this one, so obviously I had to. And I'm glad that I checked this one out, because I ended up liking it quite a bit. It all starts off with the song Real Life, where we get some distortion at the start before the string production kicks in. And on this one, the Weeknd sings about some of the lessons that his mama has taught him, and he also touches on how he pushes women away when they start to get close to him. But this album does get a little bit more loving and caring later on. On Acquainted, he sings about a woman who has him putting in time. On Shameless, he sings over some slow guitar production about a girl who has him loving her shamelessly. And then on the outro track, Angel, he lets a woman go so that she can find someone who can love her better than he can. So the Weeknd definitely brings some lovey-dovey content on here. But things also get darker on some of these tracks. On the upbeat poppy song, In the Night, he tells the tale of a girl who's trying to deal with past abuse, and this song altogether really sounds like some old school Michael Jackson to me. And the single, I Can't Feel My Face, has a very similar style and makes use of some double entendres between cocaine and women. Another one of my favorite tracks on here though is As You Are, and I just really like the smooth and wavy production on this one. Content-wise, it's about two people who are dealing with some crazy emotions and heartbreak, and this is one of those songs where you can really feel the emotion and feeling in the track. But you can really get a lot of that throughout this whole album, and I think that's what's so great about The Weeknd. Tell Your Friends is another one of my favorite tracks on here, and this one has a very classic and vintage style to it because of the heavy piano keys, and it lists Kanye West as one of its producers. The Weeknd actually really sums himself up well on this song, as he sings that he's the nigga with the hair, singing about popping pills and fucking bitches. Which is definitely a very accurate description, so he knows himself. Now, as far as the features go, there really aren't too many on this album. Labyrinth joins The Weeknd on the high school dropout anthem Losers. Ed Sheeran joins The Weeknd for a bluesy duet on Dark Times. And then on Prisoners, we get Lana Del Rey, who sounds great, and I like how they stack their vocals up on the hook. None of these songs were personal favorites of mine, but they're all pretty good and they fit into the album. But it did make me cringe when Lana Del Rey was talking that shit at the end of Prisoners, when she's just like, I don't know, sometimes I just get lost in the world where blah, 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 or some shit like that. But even still, this is one of the best R&B releases that I've heard in a long time, so I have it at a 4 out of 5. This album is definitely a lot more poppy than some of The Weeknd's other material, especially his older mixtapes. But I think old Weeknd fans, as well as new Weeknd fans, should be able to get a lot of play out of this one, and he did a great job of crafting a cohesive, smooth R&B album. Now, even though the content might get a little bit stale to people, because there's a lot of drug talk, sex talk, love talk, you know, just the basic type of shit, but I thought he did a good job of keeping it interesting and putting emotion into these songs. So it's not really too boring, and it doesn't really get too repetitive, surprisingly. After the first listen, I was kind of like, meh, it's just more of the same. But as I listened to it some more, I really began to appreciate it more, which is why I don't do one-listen reviews. Not that I sit down and listen to an album 100 times trying to like it, but sometimes you gotta give an album more listens in order to fully understand it and grasp what's happening. You gotta grasp that shit. And lastly, the only song on here that I really didn't care for is that 50 Shades of Grey song, Earned It. But it does have a little bit of a softcore porn vibe to it, so I guess it has its uses, if you know what I'm saying. And if you don't know what I'm saying, I'm talking about sex. But that's just what I thought about this album. Hit me up in the comments section to let me know what you think, and as usual, do all that good YouTube and social media stuff, where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.